Hello and welcome to episode 95 of Anime Territory. I'm your host this week, Johnny Ruhal. With me as always is my co-host, Benjamin Elasticity Suspenders Shabbing. And joining us as always on Halloween is our friend Brock Levy. Today we're going to be talking about The Bride of Halloween, which is a Detective Conan movie. So you could either say Detective Conan, Bride of Halloween, or Case Closed, Bride of Halloween. That's what we're talking about. We're doing Conan again. And guess what? Next week it's Conan again.
Yes.
We're on a Conan kick, at least for right now. I have been reading the manga. You'll get a note of how far I am in the next episode. I'm not going to say it.
I was really hoping
episode.
you could say it this episode, so that it's bigger this episode, it's smaller
It's somewhere in the 700s. I do not have my phone on me to check. So yes, it is further. As of this recording, I am further along in Detective Conan manga than I will be in the recording that releases 2 weeks from now. I'll say I just got done with the London arc.
Shit, there's a London arc?
Yeah, there's stuff that happens in London, which I will not say unless it comes up in the spoiler section. I want to real quick. At this point, you guys know, well, maybe you don't because you don't listen to our other episodes. But, well, let's give our background in Detective Conan one at a time here. I have the most background with Detective Conan. I watched some random episodes that were on TV like 15 years ago. Then I read a bunch of the manga up till about when Haibara shows up. Somewhere around there. And then haven't touched it for years. At this point of recording, I have watched the first 2 seasons, according to America, of Detective Conan. Mm-hmm. And then I have read 700-something chapters of the manga in the last month or so. I've been hauling ass through that manga. Ben, what is your Detective Conan background? And I should say I've seen 2 of the movies before this one. Mm-hmm. I've seen Captured in Her Eyes, which is movie 4, and The Phantom of Baker Street, which is movie 6.
Okay. I've seen everything you've seen, and I haven't read the manga.
Yep.
That's my background.
Yep.
I didn't really know anything about it before either.
Brock, what's your background?
I just knew it existed.
What's your background with Detective Conan?
This movie.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it would be interesting. We always try to have Brock on for Halloween, and we didn't want to watch a Halloween show just because it takes too much time, and Brock's schedule doesn't always line up well with Ben's schedule. So we're like, well, look, we'll meet up today. We'll watch the movie. We'll record. We've got other friends coming over later for movie night. So that's why Brock is watching just this movie. He has no background in Detective Conan. I am interested to get your perspective on it, having no history whatsoever, and me trying to catch you up. And honestly, this movie is beyond what I have seen, because there's a character that shows up that I'm like, I think that's that character, and I think they're still suspicious about where his motivations lie at the time of what I'm reading. So that's yeah. I mean, we jumped to movie 25.
First Conan is movie 25.
The last stuff that you've seen is from the 90s, mm-hmm. and maybe the 2000s,
whenever that
on one of the movies.
Yeah, whenever that movie came out.
Whenever Phantom of Baker Street came
mm-hmm.
out. To 2022 movie. Mm-hmm. The animation style is way different.
And we also watched it dubbed.
Yeah, because I bought it on YouTube instead of going to the high seas to find it, mm-hmm. and that was dubbed. And I don't know if there's a way of turning on different languages or not.
I wasn't gonna mess with it.
Yeah. So let's go around here and just say, what would you rate this movie, Ben?
I think it's a 7. I think it's better than Baker Street, but not as good as
Captured in Our Eyes.
Captured in Our Eyes.
So that's a tough call to make.
Okay.
I'll talk about it later. Brock, what would you, having no Detective Conan knowledge before this movie, other than what I try to jam pack into you, and then what they jam pack in at the beginning of the movie, what are your thoughts?
10 out of 10. Best Detective Conan movie I've ever seen.
All right.
Well, so it's the best Detective Conan movie you've ever seen, but you're gonna rate it a 10 out of 10?
Well, 10 out of 10 of Detective Conan movies.
Yeah, ignoring that
Just
as a movie by itself.
As a movie by itself.
Oh, okay. 7.2.
7.2. You're getting into
Wow.
points. We might do quarters or thirds, but we'll definitely do halves.
Yeah. That's fine.
Points. Okay.
I could possibly bump it up to 7.5, but I just thought I'd give it a solid 7.
Yeah, I'll round up to 7 is what I think I'm going to say.
Round up to 7?
Mm-hmm. I think. So, the common complaint I should say, around the Detective Conan community is that after movie like 6, it becomes less of a mystery and more of an action movie thing, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but there was sort of a whodunit in this one, but it also felt like, well, it's going to be one of the new characters that was introduced, which I guess for me it's a lot easier because a lot of the characters are new to you guys.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't know any of these characters, so
they were in. A lot of them were in Captured in Her Eyes.
Not all.
Well, a lot of the normal like police officers, Detective Sato and Takagi and the other guy that was like, I don't even remember his name, but the one that I said is dating.
I guess once you realize everybody is either a cop or part of the other organization, the suspects go down a little bit.
Yeah, you're like, well, we're left with 2 people.
I really thought it was one of the kids.
Like one of these days it's gonna be Ginta. Ginta. Yeah, I know. Ginta. I said it wrong.
Who Ben says as a pencil head.
Yes.
It looks like a sharpened pencil.
We'll say
sometimes.
in this movie, it's not as sharp. It's still there though. It's just dull.
I mean, a part of me is like, I'm trying to judge it as a movie on its own. And, like, I thought it was a lot of fun, but it's like, okay, there's a lot of, you gotta know Detective Conan characters, it feels like, to really empathize with some of these characters where it's like, yeah, you know Takagi and Sato's whole thing, right?
No. Not really.
It's like, and then the characters you do know are barely in it, like, Ran is barely in it, Detective Mori is barely in it.
Well, they have like a 10-minute action scene with just 4 characters we just don't know.
Yeah. And I
cool,
sort of know.
But it just takes you out of the Detective Conan
You're like,
thing.
wait, so like half of these guys are dead or 3/4 of these guys are dead?
I think 3/4 of them are dead.
Yeah. I only know of one of those characters. Well, and again, one of them was the one that I'm like, I think it's that character who is like maybe hinted to be this, and we were unsure of his allegiances. Character names escape me sometimes, but I guess we can go into like spoilers here. But yeah, that's why I say round up to a 7. It's just like I don't want to give it a 6.5. I want to, but it's 7 feels like it's kind of like
it doesn't have the detective stuff as much.
Doesn't have the detective stuff, and it's not as accessible, I think. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Brock, how accessible do you think it was?
It kind of felt alright, but like you said, since I had no idea who any of the people are, I'm like, alright, I have no idea who this could possibly be. Or it's like, should I care about this? Should I not? What's happening here?
Okay. Yeah, I would say all the police characters, there's no way that it's any of them. So like I could have just like removed any doubt. I'm like, well, I know those characters. Like, they're all good people. And then some of like the public safety commission people, like I don't know those characters as well, but I'm like, okay, they wouldn't have this like canon character be like defeated in a movie, like
I would say at the very beginning of the movie, I think I had one suspicion. I had like a theory, but then it quickly went away, and I predicted the killer.
Okay. When you said, I think I know who did it,
Yeah.
you had it? Okay.
I wrote it down.
Okay. I believe you.
Mhm.
We can talk spoilers now,
Okay.
I should say. So, in this movie, I just like try to describe it. I don't know.
So it begins with a wedding of the two cops. You're going to have to give me the names. I didn't write down names.
Miwako Sato
Mm-hmm.
and something Takagi.
Okay.
Again,
Close
I
enough.
just know them as Sato and Takagi.
There's
so...
a wedding, and then a fight breaks out. We think that guy gets shot, but it's just a training simulation or whatever you want to call it.
Wataru Takagi and
Okay.
Miwako Sato.
But it was just training exercise for this other wedding for this retired cop detective
Yep.
and his wife.
Or soon to be wife.
Yeah, soon to be wife. While that is happening, we cut back to a parking garage where two dudes are tracking an escaped bomber. Right? He was a bomber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or something. I don't know if the
a
guy
criminal.
Yeah.
They catch him. This dude has a collar on. It turns out it's a bomb. Bomb goes off. And then we kind of cut to black on that. One
Yeah.
of the guys gets a collar put on him. And the other guy... I'm assuming he's the injured guy we see throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
what I
other
thought.
public safety, main
Mhm.
public safety guy.
Which again, I don't have names.
Ray Furuya, or Zero,
Okay.
is the one who gets the collar on him.
He's like the main one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other public safety guy, I'm just looking here, trying to find it. Yuya Kazumi.
Gotcha. So that happens. And then we get the credits. Or the opening credits.
Yep.
We get the backstory that we get every single episode.
And every
This
movie.
one's just more expanded, though.
Well, because there's more stuff to catch you up on.
Yes.
It's like, well, now you need to know who Ai Haibara is. Now you need to know who these characters
It's
are.
like, you already told me this. I know. I'm not Brock. I know. And then we cut. Everybody's walking. They run into a dude by the police station. He's holding like a tablet and a piece of paper. What's the little girl's name?
Ai Haibara.
I picks up the paper, gives it to the man, and then he explodes. In the explosion, I is like flung into traffic. Moro jumps in to stop her getting ran over, but he gets injured.
Real quick,
Okay.
because people will jump on us.
Okay.
Mori Kogoro, not
Mori.
Moro.
Mori.
So Mori is the last name.
Gotcha.
Kogoro is the first
Sorry.
name.
So Mori jumps into traffic to save her. He gets hit. He's injured.
He's in the hospital for the rest of the
Yeah.
movie. Which was a fun bit later on when they're like, the anesthetics aren't working on him.
He's immune to
He's got
this
some
shit.
sort of buildup. The system is resisting the anesthetics.
So then the investigation begins. The two cops again, I don't have names.
Sato and Takagi.
They are investigating this bombing. The public safeties guy is just like, actually, we're taking care of this case. Buzz off.
Get out of here.
Is that when we see Conan meet the Zero dude? Is that what happens next? Or does some other stuff happen?
Well, I think so.
Well,
Because they're
like,
basically
there's
like,
a thing
they're
where,
going
like-
to police headquarters to work on in the case. To work on the case against being against. They were told not to work on it, but they're going to go against orders and work on it anyway.
Mm.
Rand's going to the hospital. Conan's like, I'm going to go stay at the professor's house, which is a cover to him being in a meeting with the public safety people.
Okay, so that happens.
Yeah.
And then that is when he talks to Zero. We learn the backstory of this Masuda. Is that the one?
Matsuda.
Matsuda.
Matsuda. Okay. Matsuda.
So we learned that that guy who got bombed was there to meet this Matsuda guy, who was a former cop, but he died 3 years ago in a bombing.
Yes, so that 3 years ago bombing.
Mm-hmm.
That is canon to the manga here. He is a character that is barely in it, but is just like flash back to at times. He and Sato sort of had a thing for the week that they knew each other.
Okay.
But yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, there's this hotshot detective, and there was going to be a clue to where the next bomb was, like 10 seconds before the bomb goes off. So he's like, well, I'm not going to disarm it all the way because I'm going to get that clue so that we can get the other bomb. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't able to disarm it in like the 10 seconds after he got the message.
Gotcha.
So that's how he died. And his death just sort of like, it kind of looms large in Sato's mind. And it's sort of like a barrier between Sato and Takagi's relationship developing, because you're just worried about, if I become attached to somebody, you know, I'm going to have that same feeling of loss when our dangerous jobs cause one of us to get killed.
Our friendship with Conan.
Our friendship with Conan will cause us to get killed. The other thing about this movie is just you're jumping in with Conan having all these pre-established relationships with high-up police people that they're just like, yeah, we trust this little boy's judgment. We're bringing him in as a consultant.
Well, yeah, they just have all this police discussion, and just Conan's there leading it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that one higher up that's like, where's there a child here? They're like,
don't worry about it.
I feel like he even knows Conan, though. It's like, oh, this little boy detective? Yeah.
Which higher up are you talking about?
I think the injured guy.
Not the injured one, the other, like,
the fat one?
No,
Megure?
another fat one knows him. He worked with Zero, I thought.
Oh, the, Kazami, the injured guy?
That's what I said.
I thought he was the one in the hospital that was getting...
No, that's Mori.
That's,
okay.
That's Rand's dad.
Okay.
Who he lives with.
Yes. Then yes. Like Ben, I do not know the characters' names.
Well, I know Mori.
Yeah.
He's in the show.
So they're all in the show.
Public safety's guy, not named Zero, is who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's a little like, wait, what? He's not quite at the level that Zero is at, in that Zero is very suspicious of him, like, because he's just like, man, you really put all that together quickly. Who are you? And he's like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
About this serial bomber being targeted by a Russian citizens brigade.
So Conan meets Zero in a bunker because he's got the collar on, so he's got to stay out of sight and range of stuff. And then that's where we learn about what happened 3 years ago. I guess it was 4 days before Matsuri died?
The day
before he died.
Yep.
Is they investigated a supposed gas leak at an apartment building. Turns out it was a bomb.
The gas leak was a cover they came up with to get people evacuated. They heard a scuffle or something inside of it.
Gotcha. But they went to investigate. They find a bomb. And the dude, who I guess they call the Grim Reaper, right?
No, so
that's something else?
That's just Sato's fear of losing people that she talks about.
Okay. I thought somebody called them Reaper as well.
No, it's Sato's I saw the Grim Reaper that day, because she's just worried about the people she cares about.
But the bomber's there. There's a scuffle, a chase scene, shooting scene. Matsuda disarms the bomb.
With some gum. Well, he disarms it, then they trigger it. He disarms the timer, they trigger it remotely, and so he puts a little gum to block the chemicals from mixing.
Yeah, because the bomb is just basically a chemical reaction for two liquids. So he just stopped the liquids from touching. Do you think at one point the gum just falls out and it just explodes?
I don't know. Gum's not... I don't think gum does that. It'll stay in there for 7 years. It's only been 3 years. We gotta wait 4 more years for that.
It's still there? They just left it there?
Yeah. Obviously.
But yeah, that happens. We see that the bomber was shot in the shoulder by one of the other dudes.
Yes.
I think it was Morofushi. Doesn't matter. He's dead.
One of the dead guys.
Yeah, there's 4 of them. 3 of them are dead.
They had a cool scene where one of them used a car door to block the bullets.
Isn't it cool? I took this door with us.
Yeah, and
I
the
guess.
it's like, yeah, I guess it was a good idea. I brought this door. We're like, what? Is it? It's kind of a weird decision. I guess it worked out for you.
Yeah, but then that happens. After that, it's all kind of blurry. Eventually, what is it? Chiba gets kidnapped by some people.
Yeah, he's just like trying to find eyewitnesses around the neighborhood, and he gets beat up.
Mm-hmm. And the people who kidnap him want to meet with Matsuda, who we know is dead. So, what's the guy's name? Takagi. I'm not going to write these names down, and I don't know the names.
All right.
Takagi dresses up as Matsuda and is taken by them. And then their plan is revealed. So they are a Iroh vigilante. They are citizen organization of people who have been victims of this serial bomber named Plamia.
Plamia?
Plamia.
Plamya. Plamia.
Plamia. So yeah, they're just trying to catch Plamia. The ruse is found out. They escape.
When Chiba wakes up, they're like,
Chiba wakes up.
Shit, am I dead? Matsuda's here.
I can't. Matsuda wouldn't be here unless I was dead. What? He's dead?
Who the fuck are you? Shit. Chiba, you idiot.
Why does that little boy have a soccer ball?
No, he doesn't use the soccer ball there. He kicks the pumpkin.
Yeah, he kicks the pumpkin. So that happens. After that, everything is blurry again. At some point, Conan puts it together. I just don't know exactly what happens between there.
Yeah, I mean, there's some investigative work. He's like, what is this strange symbol that was on the thing? It looks like a yin symbol. I was like, oh no, it's a sideways thing of a street. And
oh yeah, like Rand just happens to like write down what she remembered seeing.
Yeah.
And it gave some clues.
It gave Rand something to do.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't have enough Rand in this movie. Should probably go ahead and
she just remembers what was on that piece of paper that burned up.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because Rand is great. She didn't get to use any of her karate.
No, she hasn't been using karate a lot lately.
Well...
She knows karate?
Oh, yeah. So...
She knows
Rand can beat up pretty much anybody. To the point that I had a tweet the other day that I'm like, can Rand defeat Goku? The answer is yes, but only if he just committed a crime around her and is trying to either rush past her or assault her somehow. She won a city tournament in Tokyo for karate.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it's mainly just like it's constantly played for laughs, I guess, in the show where they're just like, I'll escape by brushing my way past this 16 or 17-year-old girl, depending on if it's anime or manga.
There's a plot point I forgot.
Well, hold up, I'm talking about Rand right now. And then she'll just beat the crap out of them. I also put in the tweet that if Goku is dead, like when he was in the tournament in the Buu Saga, she would not be able to defeat him because she is scared of ghosts. So those are when Rand would beat Goku. Those exact circumstances.
Are you finished?
Yeah.
Okay. That was our Rand talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's their new segment, Rand Talk.
So I forget where it happens, but an important thing that did happen is that Christine, sorry.
I think it's just Christine. Yeah, it's just Christine.
Just Christine. Oh yeah, because it's the car. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Christine gets a phone call. She says it's from a friend who said she has a gift for them somewhere. So the detective boys decide to grab it for her.
Yep. At
this seem to be abandoned building. They get there. It turns out it is a trap. There is a bomb there. Mm-hmm. The same bomb we've seen before.
Yep. The pink and blue,
and
reminiscent of the Magic the Gathering set, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Is that the name of the set?
Yeah.
Sure. Yep. Okay. But yeah, they're there. Conan gets trapped in the room, but he's able to escape through the window and by running on the gutter system like Buster Keaton would.
Yeah, it was a very like silent movie. Like, oh no! And I'm constantly running away, just barely missing, falling, and then he falls.
But yeah, that is a very important thing that did happen. Is that they were almost bombed.
He was also able to get some of the chemicals. I
That
don't know
is true.
how.
Well, some of it. I think he
he
might have broke something. I don't know.
I think he opened up the bomb, like the 2 containers of liquids that were in the bomb, and put some on his jacket sleeve and put some in that like rice cooker that he threw down. And that's why he's like, can I? Because there's a moment where he's like, can I do it? And it's like he wasn't trying to disarm the bomb at that point. He was spending his time trying to get
evidence.
the samples there.
So that happened.
Yep.
Back to the
Present, where
present.
Conan knows maybe who it is,
Okay.
and they have to do the wedding.
Oh, I guess there's a call that from the bomber that says, "Hey, this wedding has to go on, or I will murder people."
He meets up with the Citizens Brigade, or whatever. I'm not saying their name; it's in Russian. I'm going to mispronounce it.
Okay.
But the Russian syndicate whose sole purpose to get vengeance on Plamia.
Yes.
He's like, I'll make you a deal. You know, I'll get you there. I'll get you to Plamia, but you have to like not
Attack the cops. I think basically.
Yeah, you have to basically like
You can't
help
start
prevent
starting.
a disaster.
Yeah.
Like you're working for me now, damn it.
I'm in charge.
We do it my way, or you're not doing it at all.
Now give me a juice box.
Yes, and all these adults are like,
Pre-strawed.
I don't want to put the straw in myself. I don't have enough strength. And these
And it's
little boy
hard.
hands.
So they break into the wedding, and they accuse the police officer for the retired detective first, right?
No, they're just like it's you over there, and then
Okay.
they're like,
and he's
"What,
just
me? How
assuming-
dare you?" And
Okay.
then they're like, "No, not you, idiot. Your fiance.
Your wife.
Clearly, the competent one in the relationship."
Yeah, and the big cop at one point, after all this, like, I've been such a fool. It's like, yeah, I've known this your whole entire life.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
just surprised about this now?
It's like I messed up. I was dumb again.
Oh no!
And it's like I guess I can't try. And it's like, well, why? You've been dumb this whole time. Why are you stopping now? Which is a good line.
That's a good
And Inspector McGurray does not get very many opportunities to be cool. He's normally just like, all right, I'm the inspector. Time to solve this case. Oh, Conan's here again. Great.
He's like Stottlemyre, except not as cool.
And then they're like, well, I guess I'll let this boy solve the mystery, or this detective that I have contempt for because he used to be a police detective and my partner and
Was awful at
was
it,
awful at his job.
and that was good.
But now he falls asleep and it's good, and I just gotta be there to arrest people. He has a few arcs where he gets to be cool. There's a flashback to like he doesn't want to use like bait anymore because there was a case where there was somebody targeting high school girls, and this high school girl was like, hey, he was a rookie cop, she was a high school girl, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna go be the bait, you can't stop me from going out at like I'm gonna go do this. And he's like, well, fuck, I guess we'll do resources to this. And then she got hurt in the process, and he's like and he got hurt in the process, which is why he always wears a hat, because it's hiding like a terrible scar.
That's probably just like one line.
And then years later he married that high school girl.
Gross.
He was a rookie cop and she was like 18 at the time.
But she's in high school.
Yeah, that's why I said years later.
Oh. So she's not in high school anymore.
There's also a fake out where they're like, oh, damn, that high school girl died on Inspector McGrath's watch. It's like, nobody said died. They're married now.
It's not a Nadine situation?
No.
A 45-year-old in high school?
No.
She was it 37?
Yeah, I want to say 37 in Twin Peaks. That's Twin Peaks, not Detective Conan.
That is true. Yep, so Christine was Plamia.
Yep. See, they got her like, you can't raise your arm, can you? Because you get that bullet in there. Use this metal detector. We should find the bullet still.
I think what gave it away was one, her saying that there was a gift and then it was being a bomb. That's kind of suspicious.
Yeah, she's like, my friend doesn't have any memory of sending me these messages. Also, here's this map she texted me, because that's a thing.
I think the other thing was, I couldn't remember when they said, like, she arrived in Japan. I think she said she's been there for a while. But I think at some point, what is it? The first incident was like 3 years ago, and I think they said that they met 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So the timeline added up. So that's what gave it away for me.
They met at the hospital.
Yeah.
Like,
it wasn't even that. It was just more like, yeah, they met 3 years ago. It's like, oh, that's about the same time frame as when that happened. So she was there. She was in the area or whatever. So that's what gave it away for me.
But yeah, I mean, I think I was starting to say this earlier. Maybe I said all of it. This is definitely more action-packed than... Well, I don't know. Captured in Her Eyes has some action too, but I feel like this one, it's more of an action spectacle than Captured in Her Eyes was.
This one I would say is more action.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this one better than Phantom of Baker Street. Phantom of Baker Street is a little weird because they get Sword Art Online into a mystery game.
And if they die in real life.
Alright.
But only if everybody dies in the game.
It's so the spoilers for Phantom of Baker Street. There is a murder in the real world. And then there was a dying clue, like a dying message left by the person who was murdered that they're like, oh, there's something about the character in the video game that we're at the premiere or like the sneak peek for, which has like the little like capsule Sword Art Online, like you go into the game thing. That's where the murder happens. And it's like, there's some sort of clue in the game. So, Conan gets a ticket to go in and the detective boys actually they like trade super rare cards, trading cards to get in there. Because they were like invited to the event, but because Rand's best friend is super rich. But like they didn't have like ways to get into the thing because it was just for super rich people. So Sonoko, who's Rand's best friend, gives Rand a ticket when she sees that Conan's going in. Conan's dad wrote the mystery plot of the game. There's actually like 6 games or whatever, and he wrote one of them. So his dad is like, here, there's a clue. You need to get in there. Like, go and solve it. So anyway, they get isekai'd into a Jack the Ripper in London mystery game that's supposed to have Sherlock Holmes in it. But when they go into that, a rogue AI computer program is like, I'm holding all the people in these pods hostage. I can increase the voltage in their containers to kill them instantly. And I will do that if you try to tamper with them. Unless somebody beats one of the games, then I'll kill them all. So they have to solve the mystery in the game to get the clue. First of all, to win and save all the people, and then also get the clue to the real murder. And it turns out the rogue AI is actually a good guy.
It was a little boy.
It had a little boy was pressured into committing suicide by the person who committed the murder, and the guy who was murdered was the little boy's dad. It's weird. The AI was built as like a clone of his brain. And then he was like, I needed somebody to solve this, to get vengeance on this guy. And it turns out I was actually with you the whole time because I took the place of, like, I pretended to be this other boy who was there. So
the biggest plot twist is they didn't have to go in the game.
Yeah, they really
Conan's dad
Yeah,
solved
Conan
it.
dad solved the murder without it. It's like
the game just gave the AI closure, basically.
it gave the AI closure and also found like a motive. It's like, oh yeah, they killed these people because they knew there was like the AI had like this DNA detection program sort of thing, and so that program and therefore the kid's dad knew that this big shot tech guru genius billionaire or whatever that was the murderer, he was related to Jack the Ripper. Like he is a descendant of Jack the Ripper, because they were able to figure out that like, oh, you know, the second murder in the Jack the Ripper murders is actually Jack the Ripper's mom. So like,
All right.
It's weird.
yeah, so they're like, so that'll ruin my reputation. And it's like, will it? Will it really ruin your reputation? I think it's kind of cool. If you're like, yeah, I'm Jack the Ripper's great grandson.
Try to cross me, I dare you. I'm related to Jack the Ripper.
And he beat up Hercules.
Yeah.
That was...
From a different anime, Ben.
It's not from Fate.
I mean, they're both characters in Fate, but I
No,
don't think
that's
they're
Not
in
in the same
show.
Fate.
Yeah.
It's from Records of Ragnarok.
Okay.
They fight.
Yeah, that's not a show I've
It's
seen.
like, I don't think they're in the same anime.
It's like, Hercules is in Fate Stay Night, and Jack the Ripper is in Fate Apocrypha, and there's another Jack the Ripper in Fate Strange Fake.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different.
Jack the Ripper isn't in Fate Apocrypha.
Yeah, he is, or she is, because it's more like it's the souls.
Oh yeah, you're right. She is.
It's
Yeah.
the souls
Okay.
of
Yeah.
the children who were killed by Jack the Ripper, the innocents or whatever that were killed by him.
Mm-hmm. That no, I think it was like the souls of all the orphans of that time who were like dead or like street urchins, basically.
Something like, I never finished Fate Apocrypha, but I know that much. It's like the Jack the Ripper is the souls of children that were killed.
I think they implied that the children were Jack the Ripper.
That's for another video if you want to go into that.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to end Apocrypha. There's
Yeah.
some interesting things, but not that interesting.
Anyway, so that's why I don't know if I like this one better than Phantom of Baker Street. Captured in Her Eyes is still the favorite of the movies we've seen. If you get a chance, Brock, I'd recommend watching Captured in Her Eyes.
It's a good one. It's got tropical land.
It's a theme park. Man, that theme park, it's got a lot of cool shit. And some stuff where it's like...
super dangerous.
Yeah. It's like you have these boat rides with like animatronic dinosaurs and stuff in it. And like I've been on one like that at a theme park. You're on a rail. This is like, no, these are actual boats you can just take. And also like you can just take the boats to where this waterfall is and shoot the boat off the waterfall. Like that doesn't seem right.
Nah, totally good.
But it's like they have all these different, like here's the ice zone of tropical land. And you go down this penguin slide. And also here's a volcano. And here's the dinosaur jungle cruise. And it's like, man, this theme park rules.
So there's this gunfight. Plamia goes to the roof. She thinks there's a helicopter waiting for her. Turns out, boom, Zero's driving the helicopter. She gets trapped, but she doesn't.
She's like, I'm going to activate that bomb on your throat. And like, haha, sucker, we defused the bomb. We put it
in your helicopter.
Now I'm going to jump into this flaming helicopter that's crashing to apprehend you.
To make sure you don't get away.
Well,
Doesn't work.
Well, I'm going to throw this grenade. And Conan's like, well, I'll kick a soccer ball off, use the bounce off of the building across the way.
I don't think that would have bounced off. I think it would have just gone right through that window.
Nah.
I think that's bullshit.
Special window.
I guess it's a special window.
Shock resistant window in case, like, I don't know, a bird flies into her or something.
Probably like
It's thinking more of the
bullets, too.
opposite, making sure people can't just jump out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And make those things safe.
So yeah. Conan diffuses, but
He
detonates.
detonates the grenade as a firework so that nobody gets hurt by that. And she's like, well, I'm dropping the pumpkin bombs now. There's all these jack-o'-lanterns filled with the two liquids, and they're going to meet in the middle of Shibuya. And he's like, don't worry, guys. Professor Gasa improved the size of the soccer ball I can make. We're going to make a huge one and hold it in place with my suspenders.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, Shibuya must have horrible sewage for all of that. All of the chemicals.
None of it went into a drain.
There's no drainage.
And one of their most famous areas is this lowest point that they all just flow to. Got it.
Well, you could make the argument that they're like, well, it's all just going to flow down to that center area, so we just need drainage down there. Is I guess the thought process, and then it'll mix like in there. But I mean, it saved them this time.
Yeah, I guess.
we're able to use the ball to
block
the chemicals from getting past. Mm-hmm. So
sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun movie.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Brock, would you watch or read any Detective Conan after watching this?
I probably watch some of the movies. I don't know about reading the manga. Of course, this is coming from the guy who's read One Piece like 3 times. I probably should.
I'll be honest. I'm making quick work of it in the last, month or so that I've been reading it.
But generally how it goes when I start reading a new manga, I'm like, oh, there's been too much time reading it.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to watch more of the movies, but I have to watch them with Ben. Mm-hmm. So, we have to ration out how we do movies. Because it's like, okay, well, this is... we need to watch stuff for the show, or we need to watch stuff to catch up with Blank Check. And sometimes I just let you do that without me, because I'm like, I'm just not going to watch that movie.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry about this week. It's Joker.
Oh, yeah. You're not. I'm assuming you're not going to go see that in theaters when you're in Boston.
No.
But yeah, I would give this one a watch. Maybe be familiar.
Don't
with Detective
start
Conan.
with this one.
Yeah,
definitely don't start with this one.
But wait, Brock, would you start with this one?
Probably not.
But you did start with this one, and it's fine.
I didn't really have a choice. Now,
I have a rudimentary idea of Conan, and I was even lost a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you're you're not quite at the part in the anime where they start introducing more characters.
Yeah.
Like those police detectives get introduced not too much longer. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's like, okay, once they're introduced, they're in it a lot. So you know them. So it's just a matter of okay, you're just not familiar with those characters. So you haven't gotten to any of the really juicy parts. Mm-hmm. Whereas I have gotten to juicy parts.
Okay.
And even then, I'm like, well, gonna get spoiled for some things. So, anything else we want to say? Oh, I did have some notes. I wrote down bombers sometimes hide their feelings in Russian.
Mm-hmm.
And then, would you take the jack-o'-lantern job from the Russian organization? If somebody was like, hey, I'll pay you $100 to put on this costume and throw candy around.
Nah, too risky.
Nah, go for it.
I might. I really might. It depends on my mood. If I'm out and about and they're like, hey, we need somebody. We're doing a flash mob thing. You got to put on this pumpkin and cape and go throw candy out. I'd be like, all right.
I would have to first ask them, all right, is this all fresh candy, or is this candy
is this
you
a
made?
cover for some sort of kidnapping that you're going to be doing of a police detective?
If
so, I'm in.
Are there razor blades in this candy?
If so, I'm in. No. All right.
No, I wouldn't.
No, you can find us on YouTube or anywhere podcasts are found. Not anywhere. A lot of places podcasts are found. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, as Anime Territory. We're on Twitter at anime_territory. If you send me a message on there, I can send you a sticker of our logo there. I still have a bunch of those. You are now leaving the Anime Territory.
Goodbye.
So long.